Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Nobles, Ms. Dunn, I'm very sorry for your losses. I don't have children. I couldn't imagine what you've gone through. But Ms. Nobles, I want to start with you. The Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Health and Human Services have systems in place to ensure that unaccompanied alien children from non-contiguous countries are transferred from Customs and Border Protection to the Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR. The House Judiciary report regarding your daughter's murder notes that ORR lost track of more than 85,000 children and placed fewer than 15,000 follow-up calls after discharging an additional 32,000 children. At no point did anyone from CBP or HHS flag this violent criminal who had a criminal gang history along with multiple MS-13 tattoos. Ms. Nobles, does this sound like a well-run system meant to protect American people?
No. Her murderer was apprehended at the border of March of 2022. They had him. They did not check. They didn't check for his background check. They let him go to an unknown sponsor, don't even know who the sponsor is, and she takes him to Frederick, Maryland, from Texas to Maryland. And then he ended up in the same trailer as my daughter.
As you said, as it turns out, the murderer was a known gang member, was a 16-year-old known gang member affiliated with MS-13 in El Salvador. And since the current administration's open border policy began, we've seen a sharp increase in the number of known criminals crossing our southern border. That has included members of MS-13, whose motto is kill, rape, and control. My district on Long Island has suffered from high levels of gang activity, especially MS-13, for years. It stopped, actually, when the former president increased when he increased FBI and cooperation and police protection on Long Island. So we were actually winning the battle for a while. But unfortunately, that's starting to change again. And just this summer, a member of MS-13 pled guilty to the murder on Long Island, pled guilty to the murder of 2 teenage girls who were attacked with baseball bats and machetes. This is just one of the many examples. Do you think border security and proper alien vetting is a national security issue?
Yes. And supposedly he's 16. We don't know his real age.
Exactly.
But they're treating him as a juvenile. But
That's true. One of the for the UACs, one of the times I went to the border, because I've been several times. CBP was saying that when they were processing people who were trying to show that they're under 18, they actually found real documentation showing they were between the ages of 25 and 30. So we don't know exactly how old is, like you said.
no.
This committee has been focused on Biden administration's refusal to secure our southwest border and vet alien arrivals. A report from the House Judiciary Committee, like I mentioned before, pointed out multiple vetting failures with your daughter's killer. Its report shows that your daughter's murderer was arrested for association with MS-13 well before he came to the United States, something that the U.S. officials verified easily after the murder. Unfortunately, it was after. And like you said, the report also noted that the alien was released after he was arrested for murder. Do you think Secretary Mayorkas has done an adequate job vetting illegal aliens coming across our border?
No. Because if he was vetted, he would have never been allowed in. He would have never been allowed to come here and commit that horrific crime on my daughter.
Thank you for your answers, and again, I'm very sorry for your loss.
You. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just talking loud.
It's okay. I'm from New York. It's sometimes our
okay.
tone I'm not yelling. This is just how I talk.
Well, no, I was telling you that I wasn't yelling at you.
No.
I was just,
Ms. Dunn, quickly, the United States is in a fentanyl crisis. We all know that. And it's being inflamed by the open southwest border. Illicit narcotics have resulted in hundreds of thousands of deaths in just the past few years. Fentanyl is highly addictive, incredibly potent, and easy to make, which is why it's a favorite drug for the cartels and drug traffickers. I'm sure you've answered this already today multiple times, but I think it's worth getting it on the record multiple times. Do you believe that Secretary Mayorkas' open borders have exacerbated the fentanyl epidemic?
Yes, I believe so.
Do you believe that Secretary Mayorkas is doing enough to fight the scourge of fentanyl?
Not at all, no.
Why not?
he needs to lock down that border. Everyone keeps saying, give them more money. Those poor Border Patrol agents are now the welcoming committee. They are ordered to be the welcoming committee. They don't want to be the welcoming committee. They're told to do that by Mayorkas, by this administration. Just like the young lady next to you had said, it's either Mayorkas or the Biden administration. Somebody is telling the poor Border Patrol to not do their job. No matter how much money you give them, they're still not going to be allowed to do their job.
Gentleman's time has expired.